house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 18 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Jack D65, and it's his birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I feel so awkward. Happy birthday to you. Yay! You have the same birthday as Zakiya. Isn't that fun? It is. I think so. Alright, so if you guys want to be house guests of the day like birthday boy Jack D65, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Yay! Lucy's here! Alright, so let's get to what's going on in the house right now. The plan to backdoor Frank next week is spreading because Paulie is like the new Frank. Remember how Frank was just like throwing out everybody's information? That's Paulie now. He's just like, guess what? This happened and then this happened to like everybody. So Paulie and Corey were talking and Paul comes in and Paulie basically tells him, Frank's a piece of crap. It's pretty much what he says. He won the first and third roadkill competitions. So he told Paul, like, look, Frank nominated you the first week with that roadkill, and he was pretty much responsible for you going up this week because Bridget is the HOH, and Frank is controlling that shit. Alright, so then he was telling Paul more and more about Frank's deals and his shadiness and the plan to get rid of him next week. So Paul's like, sounds great, like, put me up as a pawn. He volunteers to go up as a pawn next week. He's like, I don't care, let's do this, let's get it done. So then Paulie's like, that's fantastic, we have another job for you. We want you to be the one to tell Bronte, Natalie, and Bridget when the time is right about all of Frank's shadiness and his roadkill wins, because he put them up on the block too. But he's telling him, like, we need to wait until the time is right. We don't want this to get out too early and for Frank to find out about it. So until then, just be cool. Don't be all uncool. So then James and Michelle were chatting, and James is like, yeah, just so you know, Frank wants you out of the house. And Michelle's like, I know, he tells me every day. So James is like, yeah, he's saying first he wants to get rid of Day and then you. So Michelle's just like, well, wait, he's been telling everybody different names. So, like, he's got a million freaking targets out there. He's targeting half the house right now. And she's like, he forgot how to play Big Brother. And I have to agree with that. I think it's really stupid that Frank is throwing out all these names and people are going to find out about it. I don't think he's taking into consideration that everyone else talks. Like, people are going to compare notes. So she wants to confront him, and James is like, no, cannot say anything like that, anything of that nature to Frank until he's up on the block, because we could ruin the whole thing if we speak up too soon. So then, last night, some of the house guests got to enjoy an Outback Steakhouse reward dinner, which Bridget won for her team in the Power Veto competition. So Bridget, Frank, Michelle, and Paulie were all going, and then Bridget also got to pick one other team to join them. This was a little bit of a surprise. She ended up picking Big Sister, so that's Davon, Zakiya, and Paul. So, like, everybody was assuming that she would be picking Team Unicorn because her two best friends, supposedly, Natalie and Bronte, are on that team, but no. So they're, like, a little suspicious about it, and they're like, oh, I know that she freaking talked to Frank about this. This is Frank's doing. Everybody assumes that it was Frank's decision, which it probably kind of was. So then Bridget was explaining to Natalie, like, I'm sorry that I couldn't pick you, but it might not have looked great to pick you guys. Also, Big Sister was on slot for 2 weeks, so it'd be nice to give them a good meal. It's Zakiya's birthday. Paul is on the block right now, and Day and Frank still kind of need to work on their relationship a little bit, so this is a good opportunity for that. So Natalie's like, oh yeah, it's great. I'm so happy for you guys. Yay. Alright, so then Big Sister and Category 4 go out back to enjoy their Outback. I made a pun. Okay, so then meanwhile, Nicole and Corey were chatting in the safari room, and this was interesting. Nicole was like, I don't trust Day. She's going to be playing dirty when we get deeper and deeper into this game. We cannot trust her. She's nervous, too, that Day is going to expose that group of 5. So Nicole, Corey, Zakiya, Paulie, and Day. I mean, this is exactly why Day did not want to be in that group, though, because she's in there with, like, 2 showmances. Of course she's not going to want to be in that, but Nicole's like, she's going to expose it, we can't have that. So this is exactly what Day was afraid of. But Nicole's like, yeah, I mean, Frank was talking about putting up Day as a roadkill next week, and it wouldn't be the worst thing for our game if that did happen, because Nicole feels like maybe she'd be better off with Frank over Day because she doesn't feel like Frank is coming after her. And then Nicole starts talking about this week a little bit more, and she's like, honestly, I'd rather see Bronte go home. Tiffany is not coming after us. She's our freaking teammate. And also, it's kind of stupid of us to be getting rid of our own people while the other side is still kind of just chilling right now. So she's getting nervous because she feels like there could be a double eviction coming up, which I think she's right. And you really need the numbers for that. So she's like, I wish we could keep Tiffany, but the numbers just don't seem to be there right now. So then the Outback house guests return from their dinner a little tipsy, some more than others. It sounds like they each had 2 beers, and they came back and they're all like, I love you, and I love life, and I love Big Brother, and I love you, and steak. Michelle was really feeling it, and she turned into Big Mish. That was like her nickname for last night. It was a lot. So most of the house guests wanted to keep the party going. They're celebrating Zakia's birthday. They're all having a great time. And then Frank and Bridget, mom and dad, go up to the HOH room, and they're just watching everyone on the spy screen and like making fun of everybody. Whew, I feel like I've been drinking. So then they start talking about the game. Frank brings up that he does not want Day to be on the jury because she's going to be able to influence people, and, you know, Frank and Day don't have the best history, so he sees, like, she's not going to want to vote for me. So he's trying to get rid of her. He also brings up he doesn't want Michelle around too long. If I was Bridget, I would be nervous because that's her own teammate, and Frank is like, she's got to go. So Frank is like, yeah, I think she's going to be good at the competitions more towards the end of the game because they have a lot of, like, questions about events that have happened, and he says Michelle will be really good at that. However, he does want Michelle to win the next HOH because he wants them to all be safe again, and he doesn't want the blood on his hands because Bridget's all like, well, when are you going to be HOH, Frank? And he's just like, I don't need that right now. So, yeah, he's just hoping that his team is going to keep winning over and over again, obviously. All right, so then he was like, yeah, we can let Michelle take the fall for the nominees, but then he is pretty confident that he could win the next roadkill again. I mean, why wouldn't he be confident? He's already won 2 out of 3. But he's saying if he wins next week, he would love to put up Day, and then if Day comes down, put up Corey. And then he's like, you know what? Polly also needs to go soon too. So again, he's naming like half the house, and I don't think that's very smart. But then it's truth time. So Frank reveals to Bridget that he won the first roadkill and this week's roadkill. So she's like, Frank, you put me up on the block? And he's just like, yeah, I did. He said that he put up Bridget and Bronte because he knew that they'd be safe, and Bridget didn't seem too upset about it. She freaking was giggling and cuddling right up to him. I mean, like, head on his chest, arm over, and like, what the hell is going on here? Both of them have significant others, and it's just like, what? Yeah. Anyway, downstairs, it's a freaking party. It was a guys versus girls dance-off to start things off. So Polly put together this little routine. I mean little. Like, it was like 2 8 counts, and they couldn't even handle it. So Polly, James, Paul, and Corey did their dance for the girls. It wasn't much to write home about, but it was fun. And then Polly freaking gave Zakia a lap dance, and he was like a little too good at it. Good for you. But I want to ask you guys, who did it better? Cody in his season, you know, that clip when he walked into the room, he was wearing that vest and he was like, what's up? Or Polly last night? I don't know. I think they both had a lot of skill, and it was a little alarming. Anyway, It was the girls' turn next, and Big Mish, oh my god, this was so funny. So the girls were, like, practicing their routine in the bathroom area so they could watch themselves in the mirror. And it was so funny because they kept showing them practicing, but then they would, like, change the feed to Michelle alone in the safari room, just, like dancing around drunk, and it was so ridiculous. It was just funny because they kept going back and forth between the two. So before the girls performed, Big Mish did a rap, and it was pretty sad, but it was funny. And then the girls came out and did their dance, and they were good. Like, they were in sync. They had a fun routine. Everybody was loving it. And then it was time for a rap battle between Paul and Michelle. And Michelle was basically just yelling. Like, her raps were very sporadic, and it was so weird, but it was hilarious at the same time. I think last night did more for Michelle's social game than the whole rest of the time that she's been there. I'm not kidding, because everybody was loving it. And it just brought me back to season 16 with Caleb being all, I'm a lyrical genius, got a really big penis. Remember that with Zach? That was hilarious. Okay. So, as the night went on, Paulie and Zakiya were getting, like, a little bit handsy. Like, it was a bit much. Did y'all forget about the people and the cameras? Yeah. Okay, so back to the game. Paul pulled Bronte aside for a minute, and he spilled some info. He was like, do not tell anyone what I'm about to tell you. But, you know, he had that conversation with Paulie earlier, and he got some info about Frank, and he shared that with Bronte. He was like, I'm supposed to be telling all three of you girls this together at some point, but I'm telling you first, and I swear, like, please do not tell them about this. So he let her know that Frank is the target next week. Everyone's against him, and he's all like, be cool about it. He can't find out. Be cool. Don't be weird. And then he told her about Frank's roadkill wins, all that jazz, blah, blah, blah. The same stuff that we've been hearing. But he's like, Bronte, just lay low, and we'll be good for 2 weeks, because Tiffany's going this week, and then if all goes according to plan, Frank will be going next week. So Bronte's just like, okay. All right. So Nicole and Corey had a late night chat. They've been up pretty late the last few nights because they've been having issues with the bumper cars in the have-not room. So Nicole, again, is like, I feel bad that we've got to vote Tiffany out. But that's just how it goes. Like, they can't go against the majority vote at this point. They just don't feel like they have the votes to keep her. So that, or Nicole doesn't, and Corey's all like, yeah. So then they were talking about who they trust, and it sounds like they want to go to the Final Four with Zakiya and Paulie, and then they're both saying that they would take each other to the Final Two. I don't know that I believe that. I definitely see Corey sticking with Paulie over the girls, and I'm a little surprised that Nicole would want to go to the Final Four with 3 newbies. I don't see her doing that. I think for sure she would want to go to the end with another veteran, so they kind of have a fair chance with the jury, but who knows? Who knows? Hopefully she's not getting too wrapped up in this showmance. But this morning they had the power veto ceremony, and Bridget did not use it, which means that Paul, Tiffany, and Bronte are still up on the block. One of them will be leaving on Thursday. And right now, it's looking like it's still going to be Tiffany. I know that there was that diary room with Day at the end of last night's episode where she said that she was going to keep Tiffany until after Frank is gone, but I just don't know if that's possible at this point. The 8-pack is still lying to Tiffany about the votes. They're all telling her, you're safe, and then they're telling each other, like, yo, she out. But she thinks she's staying, and I hope that's not going to keep her from campaigning this week. So then Corey and Paulie were strategizing, and Corey is basically just saying what Nicole was telling him about how he doesn't think that they can trust Day, and he thinks that she's lied to them about a bunch of stuff, and he thinks it's possible that she lied about Frank wanting to backdoor them, but no, that's definitely true. Just freaking ask James. Hello. So then Paulie was like, well, I don't know, Zakiya really trusts Day, so, like, I feel like I can too, because I really trust Zakiya. But Paulie was saying, if the opportunity arises, maybe they should take out Day sooner rather than later. So, I don't know. I'm a little nervous for Day. It's not good. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. We still have a few days until the next eviction, so you never know what could happen. But until tomorrow, much love.